Today we're at a vacant lot on the Conway Chain, and honestly the story here isn't so much the land itself, and this lot is gorgeous, but it's more about the infrastructure costs that the eventual owner is going to save by purchasing this house, specifically with the fact that there's a dock already in place, probably saving them close to $100,000. So for today's property tour, we're going to go to Belle Isle, Florida. Belle Isle is technically its own little municipality just south of downtown Orlando, and it comprises most of the lakes on the Conway Chain of Lakes. Starting, we've got Little Lake Conway in the center there, Big Lake Conway or Middle Lake, and then the South Lake. Lake Gatlin, also part of the Conway Chain of Lakes, is outside of the city of Belle Isle city limits. And the city of Belle Isle is just a very charming, very small municipality. It has its own police force, very small, and pulls in from a lot of the other services of the county and the city of Orlando in some cases. One thing that's attractive about Belle Isle, besides the lakes, its proximity to downtown Orlando. You're 20 to 30-ish minutes away, depending on where you are on the lake, and so it's you've got a small town feel. A lot of community involvement, people know each other, but you've also got a larger metro area that you're sitting right outside of. In addition to that is its proximity to Orlando International Airport. So the airport is, especially when you're down on the South Lake or the southern end of the Conway Chain, you are literally a 5 to 10 minute drive from Orlando International Airport, also called MCO. So that proximity between downtown and the airport, a lot of healthcare, medical facilities, really drives the value and makes it a very desirable chain of lakes. Today we're going to talk about a vacant property that's on Neela Isle. Neela Isle is really kind of a unique spot. It's a, as you can see, kind of a peninsula that separates the South Lake from the Middle Lake, and almost all the properties on Neela Isle are waterfront. Those that aren't, they still enjoy the waterfront lifestyle. And it's just a really unique piece of real estate here in Central Florida with it almost feels like you've kind of stepped out of Central Florida. You've gone into a new little waterfront community. Almost has a slightly coastal feel to it. A lot of charm down in Belle Isle. There's the Neela Bridge, which you'll see in a little bit on the drive-through. A little old brick bridge that cuts across the lakes there. And this property that we're talking about was a home site that somebody bought recently. They scraped the house with the plan of building a home there, and their plans changed, and they've now put it on the market. And it makes it a unique opportunity for a lot of reasons. The primary one being it is hard to find lots like this that have not already been picked up by a builder or developer that wants to also sell the entire project. So the buyer of this property is going to have some control over what gets built here. We're doing a quick little tour through Belle Isle. There's the city hall. Again, a very small town vibe feel to it. And then we are doing a drive-through here. Beautiful community, lots of old oak trees, an interesting mix of older original ranch-style homes built in the 50s and 60s, and as you can see, a lot of new construction that's come in as well. Nice sized lots, beautiful oak trees, and here we are at the property 2121 Neela Drive. As you can see, there is a lot of, there was a house here at one point. I can't remember which one it was. There's a circular drive. There's an old septic system that's going to have to be redone. And so there are some costs associated with this, but this is going to have some real advantages for a buyer to come in and really kind of have a raw piece of land to work with the benefit of some infrastructure that's already in place, namely that dock. We're going to spend some more time on that dock here in a minute. We're looking north out here over the lake. You've got, there's an irrigation system that's in place, a little bit of a savings there. This is some of the neighboring property to show you the difference. That's a full-on cleared out white sand beach. That's hard to pull off these days. Neela, this property is going to require some work out the lakefront for somebody that chooses to do so. Prior owners, I'm not sure if it was just from a lack of attention. I think they chose to leave it like this because you'll see the weeds are cleared out underneath the boat lift area. But this lake is a fantastic spot for people that like to enjoy the water. Conway Chain residents, they are out there on the water, whether it's water sports, wakeboarding, skiing, tubing, jet skis, fantastic fishing, awesome water clarity. And you can see here's a picture of the dock and kind of what we're working with so far. So there is some potential here, and probably a six-figure savings already in place on this piece of property, because you're not having to come in here and start from scratch. Now, the dock is going to require it's going to require a makeover. We're going to talk about that more in a few minutes here. The aquatic growth, the weeds, are going to need to be cleaned up. But again, I think a lot of opportunity here for the right buyer. So the frontage on this property is interesting because you've got almost 100 feet of frontage here along Lake Conway, and this has not been maintained. This was, I can't remember which house was here, but the house has been demoed, and this is a lakefront that was probably didn't see a whole lot of use or maintenance over the last few years. So some things to think about when you're looking at properties like this. First of all, the aquatic growth out here is almost all what's considered torpedo grass. It's a very invasive species. The fish love it. If you're a bass fisherman, it's great because the fish love to be out along the weed line there, but it's a lot of work to get this removed. So yes, whereas you save some money because you have a dock in place, somebody's going to make a decent investment in cleaning out this lakefront to whatever extent they want to. Now, some owners might say this is fine, they're going to leave it like that. Others are going to want a swim area, get rid of the invasive species, put some beach line in like you've seen some of the adjacent properties. But that's quite a bit of work that's waiting for you out there. The other thing that's, as far as infrastructure that's already in place with this property, we have a wall back here. This, I would not characterize this as a seawall. It's not, the water doesn't typically get up to that level. That is a retaining wall that looks like it was built to deal with the slope of the property. And you can see that it's an older block retaining wall. It's starting to lean. It's probably not going to fit the vibe of the house that somebody's going to build here eventually. So there's going to be some work involved in coming in and dealing with that retaining wall, and that will probably be replaced or dealt with somehow to kind of dress that up. So that's an example of some existing infrastructure that's going to have some costs associated with it. But again, probably a minor consideration for somebody that's looking for the perfect lot to build on. And this is a great opportunity in that respect. This dock is a great example of where buying a home that's either a tear down, or in this case, the house has already been demoed. You've got a fantastic lake lot with a lot of the expensive infrastructure already in place. This dock is a perfect example. So by the looks of it, this dock looks a little rough. It's been painted. It's got like an orange paint. I'm not a fan of painted docks. But people do what they're going to do because it's a maintenance issue, and I like a good water seal on the real wood, or you can do like a composite material. This has been painted, the paint's deteriorated, and quite frankly, this entire decking is probably going to be replaced by the eventual owners of this property. But looking overall at the structure of this dock, it looks rock solid and not all that old. So you can see this is it's built with 6x6 posts. All the posts look like they're in solid shape. If you come over here, you can see on some of the ends of the cross members here, joist down there, you've got a little bit of wood rot, but nothing serious. And overall, it's in pretty good shape. So this would be, a dock like this with a deck, a boathouse. This has the cradle lift on it. It looks like it's functional. I've not tried it. But the infrastructure of this dock is in pretty good shape. Somebody's gonna come in here, clean this up, put a new decking on. If they were starting from scratch on this dock, you would probably be looking at, these days, to build something similar, probably, I'm gonna say, a $75,000 starting point. And then docks are like cars, so you can add all the bells and whistles and the features, and that's where you start spending a lot more. But this is a valuable component of this property for the eventual owner that wants to build their house here, because they've already got the dock in place. It's permitted. They're going to come in here and they're going to kind of freshen up this dock, new decking, and I'm guessing this is probably instead of a $75,000 to $100,000 project, you're probably looking at, I'm going to say, 15 to 20 to come in here and fix this place up, this dock up nicely. And you have a very functional dock. You've got the boat lift there. You've got deep water here out at the end of the dock, and you're ready to go. I hope you found this video helpful. If we can help you out with anything else, if you've got questions, please like and comment down below. Reach out. We would love to help you with your waterfront search or just answer some general questions about the lakefront lifestyle here in Central Florida. I'm Mike Derenthal. Thanks for visiting.